Psalm 58 is bold. It's a cry against corrupt leaders, injustice and evil that seems to go unchecked. We often feel helpless when systems fail us or when liars and the wicked rise to power. And this psalm gives voice to that pain and reminds us that God sees what we cannot. Justice delayed is not justice denied. And there will be a day of reckoning. God will judge righteously. And this psalm gives hope that even if justice doesn't come immediately, God is still in control and he will act. So imagine if you're a whistleblower, you spoke out against wrongdoing in your workplace or government, and instead of being celebrated, you're slandered, threatened, or even punished. So Psalm 58 becomes a lifeline. It reminds you that God sees both the corruption and your courage, and one day he will expose and deal with the wicked. So a popular verse from Psalm 58 is verse 11. Surely the righteous still are rewarded. Surely there is a God who judges the earth. And this verse is a declaration of hope, that no matter how dark it gets, God is just, and he will reward those who remain faithful. So let's read Psalm 58. For the director of music to the tune of Do Not Destroy of David. Do you rulers indeed speak justly? Do you judge people with equity? No, in your heart you devise injustice, and your hands met out violence on the earth. Even from birth the wicked go astray, from the womb they are wayward, spreading lies. Their venom is like the venom of a snake, like that of a cobra that has stopped its ears, that will not heed the tune of the chamber. However skillful the enchanter may be, break the teeth in their mouths, O God. Lord, tear out the fangs of those lions. Let them vanish like water that flows away. When they draw the bow, let their arrows fall short. May they be like a slug that melts away as it moves along, like a stillborn child that never sees the sun. Before your pots can feel the heat of the thorns, whether they be green or dry, the wicked will be swept away. The righteous will be glad when they are avenged, when they dip their feet in the blood of the wicked. Then people will say, surely the righteous still are rewarded. Surely there is a God who judges the earth. So really we read this psalm when we are victims of injustice, corruption or abuse, when people feel frustrated with unfair systems or leadership, and Christians longing for God's justice in an unjust world, and those seeking strength to stand up with what's right. Now, after reading this Psalm 58, I want to discuss some of the meanings of the verses. So let's go through some of them. So Psalm 58 verses 4-5, their venom is like the venom of a snake, like that of a cobra that has stopped its ears, that will not heed the tune of the charmer, however skillful the enchanter may be. This verse is a vivid metaphor that David uses to describe the wicked and corrupt people, specifically unjust rulers and leaders. So really, their venom is like the venom of a snake. Let's break this down. Venom symbolizes the harm, lies, and destruction that come from the mouths of actions of these corrupt individuals. And just as snake venom poisons the body, their words and decisions poison truth, justice, and society. And if we break down like that of a cobra that has stopped its ears, a cobra with stopped ears is a poetic image of willful ignorance or stubbornness. And cobras were thought in ancient times to be capable of hearing music, just like snake charmers. But this one has refused to listen. And that will not heed the tune of the charmer, however skillful the enchanter may be. So even when someone wise or persuasive or righteous, the charmer, speaks truth or correction, the wicked won't listen, no matter how compelling the message. And it really shows how deeply resistant and hardened and evil these people are. They choose rebellion even when guidance is offered. So in summary, this verse means the wicked are dangerous and stubbornly unteachable, like venomous snakes who refuse to listen, even when truth is spoken clearly and beautifully. And David is expressing frustration at how unreachable some people are and how their hearts are closed off to truth, correction, and righteousness. So this can really apply to leaders or influencers who spread lies, knowing the truth but choose to ignore it, and people who refuse counsel or correction, even from people trying to help them lovingly or wisely. And when we have moments where we're trying to bring peace, truth, or justice, but some people, they just don't want to hear it. So that's the verses of Psalm 58 verses 4-5. Now we go through verses 8 to 11. It's quite, you can really see the images of these verses. So verse 8, may they be like a slug that melts away as it moves along, like a stillborn child that never sees the sun. So David is praying that the wicked would vanish quickly and without impact. And a slug melting away is a graphic image of something dissolving, fading into nothing. And a stillborn child is tragic, and it symbolises a life that never ever had a chance to do harm or good. So the meaning here is not a lack of compassion, but a poetic cry that the evil plans of the wicked would come to nothing before they ever gain power or influence. What a powerful verse that is. And this verse does use harsh language, and it's not to encourage hatred, but it's to really reflect the seriousness of the damage evil can do, and a desire for that evil to be stopped before it spreads. Now verse 9, before your pots can feel the heat of the thorns, whether they be green or dry, the wicked will be swept away. So this is really a metaphor for how swiftly God can act in judgment. And before your pots feel the heat, before a fire even gets going to boil a pot, God will remove the wicked. It doesn't matter if the thorns are green or dry, easy to burn, justice will be sudden and unstoppable. Now verse 10, the righteous will be glad when they are avenged, when they dip their feet in the blood of the wicked. This is a really symbolic language. It's not a literal call to violence. Dip their feet in the blood really represents total victory and justice over those who do evil. In biblical times, seeing justice done, especially after long suffering, was a cause for relief and vindication for the righteous. And it's important to see not just as personal revenge, but as a celebration that God's justice has prevailed. Now Psalm 11, then people will say, surely the righteous still are rewarded. Surely there is a God who judges the earth. This is the conclusion and the point of the whole psalm. Once justice is served, everyone will recognize that living righteously is not in vain. It confirms the truth that God is real and he does judge evil and reward righteousness. So the overall message of these verses is there is a cry for divine justice in a world where wicked can often seem to win. But David isn't asking for petty revenge. He's longing for a world where evil is dealt with swiftly, the righteous are protected and vindicated, and God is seen as the righteous judge that he is. So this psalm really speaks the loudest when we're watching injustice go unchecked. And how bad is that, often standing back and watching that? Or when corrupt people are hurting the innocent, but yet we can see them so clearly with our eyes, and we're looking at others thinking, how can you not see this? And when we're tempted to think, does God even see this? So our encouragement here with this psalm is God does see, God will act, the righteous are not forgotten, and evil will not win forever. So if we have ever felt that evil is winning, Psalm 58 is for us. God sees the injustice, he hears our cries, and he will make it right. So if we're standing for truth and righteousness, smash the like button to let others know that you're not alone. Comment God is just in the comments if you're trusting him to deal with the darkness. And subscribe for more psalms that speak real truth into real life. And share this with somebody who's been hurt by corruption. They need this psalm today. Until next time.